guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to a late night horror review. Tonight we're looking at a British classic horror film from the Ealing Studios, and it's called Dead of Night. This is released on Studio Canal's Vintage Classic label. So let's have a look at the edition. So this is the physical release of Dead of Night, released by Studio Canal's Vintage Classics. As you can see, it's got a synopsis on there and a little bit about the special features. And it has the movie on Blu-ray, nothing else. Unfortunately, this didn't come with a slipcase. But there we are. That is the physical release of Dead of Night. So I've only managed to pick up the sort of standard one. No slipcase or anything like that on it. But hey, it's still cool. But is there any special features on it? Is Kim Newman on it? So here we are on the main menu of Dead of Night, released here on Studio Canal. Your extra features we have is Remembering Dead of Night, Restoration Comparison, Stills. And that is the special features on Dead of Night. So there is some special features on it, but no Kim Newman on it, which is cool, makes a nice change. Let's get to the story. So before Amicus, before all these wonderful anthologies, we have this one, which is probably one of the earliest anthologies I think maybe created. I don't know, but it's a 1945 film, and it's about a guy called Walter, played by Melvin Johns, and he goes to this cottage. He's been invited there. I think he's some sort of author or writer, and he's been invited there for like a weekend by various other people, and it's nowhere he's never been before. But when he arrives, he recognizes everybody and the house, like he's seen it all in a dream. And he tries to convince everybody, especially the doctor, Dr. Van Straten, played by Frederick Volk, and he's trying to convince them about that this dreams, that he's met them all before. A few of them believe him, like Joan, played by Googie Withers, she believes him, and also Sally, played by Sally Ann Howes, that they all believe and want to believe him. And he tells them the story about the dream and things that are going to happen, and these sort of things start happening. It's like that, and then we break it to little individual stories of the people in the room that they start explaining to us about sort of strange experiences they've had. I'll go through some of the cast. We have Elliot Foley, played by Ronald Culver, Mrs. Foley, played by Mary Merrill, Joan, played by Googie Withers. We have Dr. Van, played by Frederick Volk, Hugh Granger, played by Anthony Braid, Sally O'Hara, played by Sally Ann Howes. We have Dr. Aubrey, played by Robert Wyden. We have Joyce, played by Judy Kelly. We have who else is in the film? Trying to think. We have Jimmy Watson, played by Michael Allen. We have Hugo playing himself. We have Mrs. O'Hara, played by Barbara Leake. We have Peter Cortland, played by Ralph Michaels. Trying to think any other sort of substantial characters. George Parrott, played by Basil Rathbone. So it's quite it's a cast of people I've never really sort of heard before. But it's a really, really cool sort of anthology. We have all sorts of different stories, and you can see some of them influence some of the Amicus ones. We have one about a mirror, and that one you can think that's influenced from Beyond the Grave, because there was a mirror story in that. We have one with a ventriloquist doll, which is probably the best story out of all of them, which is really cool. We have one there's one a little bit of a comedy one, a bit sort of humour going through it. We have one about a haunted sort of house, and we have one guy that is like racing car driver, but sort of like he kind of survives it, but then sort of sees these visions post this sort of thing, and he sort of sees this like this hearse, and the guy goes, got room for one more on board. And then when he goes out of hospital, he gets to go to the bus stop, and the bus guy looks just like the guy that was in his dream, because we've got space for one more on board, so he doesn't get on, and that bus goes and crash, a bit like Final Destination. It's all these sort of, I'm wondering if a lot of these horrors have been influenced by this, because it's really, really cool. Let's get to my final verdict. So I'm going to score this an amazing watch and give it a 9 out of 10. It was really, really cool. It is a classic British horror film. It's 1945. It's black and white. This is a remaster restoration done by Studio Canal. The frame is fitting like a small sort of 4.3 frame, which is fine. But it plays out really well and it looks really nice. The sound is a little bit, could have done with a bit of remastering, but apart from that, it plays out really well. And the great segments, so all of them are quite memorable and really, really good. Like I said, my favourite one was definitely the ventriloquist one, but I like films like that as well anyway. And obviously that's influenced the film Magic, starring Anthony Hopkins, because there is similarities in that story as well as in that film. Really, really cool. Great film. Dead of Night, 9 out of 10. If you guys seen it, let me know down below what you think of it. Really, really cool. Classic British horror film. And it's good to see that Ealing didn't just make comedies, they made horror. Massive shout out to my lads. See you soon, guys.